Hola, ¿qué tal? Welcome again to Vamos, your DELE A2 podcast. Today we're going to be talking about pronunciation, which is going to help you a lot for the speaking task. Are you ready? Vamos! Hello and welcome again to this DELE A2 podcast. Today we will be talking about pronunciation, and it's that type of thing that as grammar, as I said last week, it's just not on the textbooks in many cases, and so you're just expected to know what you should know for the DELE A2 exam, and more importantly, how to practice with it. So I find that pronunciation is a key element because it's going to help you sound better, but most importantly, make yourself understood. Because if you know all the words but you're not pronouncing them right, the examiner will just not know what you're talking about, and so it's going to make it more difficult for you, not only on the day of the exam, but in general. Also, one of the main reasons that I wanted to focus on pronunciation is because I believe it's the type of mistake that's very easily fossilized. Now, what does this mean? It means that if we learn it the wrong way from the beginning, so if we don't pay attention, we will go to our default setting, which is our native language, and so we'll pronounce words as we would in our native language. And this is just going to stick in your head, and it's going to become like a fossil. So it's going to be very, very hard to remove afterwards. Instead, I encourage my students to start with pronunciation from the beginning. So the basic sounds that you need to focus on as a foreign language speaker in Spanish, especially if your native tongue is English, that's my focus for today, is first of all the vowels. So vowels, we only have 5 vowels in Spanish: a, e, I, o, u. And they never merge together, they're never combined with anything. So once you have those 5 sounds correctly said, you can apply them to any word. So let me show you some examples of words that generally I hear that people mispronounce in Spanish. We have, for example, aeropuerto, aeropuerto. Generally, many English speakers will pronounce something like aeropuerto, aeropuerto. So what's the problem here? We've got 2 things that we need to be aware of. So we've got those 5 sounds that never merge. So it's going to be aeropuerto. And in the second part, it's the R sound. Generally, when there's an R after it, Americans and English speakers in general tend to modify their vowels. So it's going to sound like R, and that's not a Spanish sound. It's aeropuerto. Aeropuerto. So it's a very soft R. So that's my second letter that I would like to share with you. It's letter R. So you have to focus not only on the strong R, which we all know it's kind of difficult rolling your R's, and it takes practice in words such as carro, perro, but there's also the soft R in words like caro, pero. This soft R is sometimes just as difficult as the strong R, just because we're not used to it, and so we mispronounce it, and we also modify the vowels that are next to it, and so it sounds strange. So my first tip, focus on vowels and letter R. The other 2 sounds that are generally mispronounced are ge, G, which generally English speakers tend to pronounce as G, so generoso, and it's not generoso, it's generoso. Notice it comes from my throat, G. Now, if you don't want to make it as strong, this is typical from northern Spain, but in southern Spain it would be generoso, like an H, so it won't be sounding so hard from your throat, it will be generoso, generoso. Here in northern Spain, generoso, generoso. So the other letter would be letter th, th. So this one is like a TH in English in words such as ciudad or centro. These words, generally people tend to pronounce them with an S. That is not incorrect. That is correct in all of southern Spain and Latin America. So the vast majority of Spanish-speaking countries use these sounds. But do know that the th and thi sound are also important, because pronunciation is not only for you to speak, it's also for you to understand. So if you hear someone pronouncing centro, you might not know that this th sound is going to be a C when you're writing it. So your brain is not going to connect the dots, if you will, and they will not know, your brain will not know what you're talking about. So it's important to know that this th and thi are pronounced like a th in English in all of northern Spain. So it's going to be ciudad and centro. So if you want to practice these sounds, what I recommend is practicing with tongue twisters. We have many in Spanish, so let me just show you an example. R con R guitarra, R con R carril, rápido rueda los carros, rápido el ferrocarril. So in this one you notice that we're practicing rolling your R. So these kind of little games are very good because they keep forcing your mouth to pronounce different sounds very close together and just to pay attention. Okay, and once you have those key sounds, the vowels, the R's, what do? You try to practice with longer sentences. So this is very important because every language has kind of a pattern and we want to mimic that pattern so that it sounds natural, it sounds more like native. So how do we do that? We choose a speaker, someone that we like or that we enjoy the way they speak, and we try to imitate it. To do so, you choose, for example, a video that has subtitles. That's very important. You need the subtitles. And you're going to watch just one sentence of video, and then you're going to pause the video and you're going to try to copy it. So you're going to read the transcript and you're going to record yourself and compare your audio with the original version and try to make all the little tweaks so that it sounds as similar as possible to the original. This is going to help you, as I say, just sound more natural because each language has kind of a rhythm or a dance, and so it's not only knowing the single words alone and separate, but knowing how they join together, how the pronunciation changes when we have two words together, and also how the sentences flow, so when they rise, when they go lower, and it's really going to help you a lot. This is a more advanced technique, so I don't think you should overly stress with it. It's not an objective for the DELE A2, but it's definitely a very good practice to keep while you're learning Spanish and to help you improve and sound better, sound more natural. Okay, so that's it. I hope it was helpful. It was a very short episode, but I wanted just to share with you the little tiny steps that you can take right away to start practicing. So as we've seen, practice with tongue twisters, practice with the shadowing technique, and just feel more and more comfortable when speaking Spanish. So try to practice as much as possible. I hope you found the video useful. Let me know in the comments and I look forward to hearing from you. Nos vemos!